Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel, and today I want to talk about science communication on social media. Specifically, how we think about expertise and authority in evidence-based social spaces. Over the past few years, it's become clear to me that one of the main currencies on social media is perceived authority. You'll often see creators stand behind impressive credentials, MDs, PhDs, publications, and institutional affiliations, and then use those credentials to position themselves as authorities across a very wide range of topics. But the more time I've spent learning about the intricacies of academia and research, the more I've realized something important. Most scientific communicators are speaking well outside their narrow area of expertise most of the time. And I want to be clear, that's not a moral judgment, it's just the reality of how specialized science actually is. In academic research, expertise tends to be extremely narrow. For example, someone might be an expert in skeletal muscle hypertrophy, but even then, that expertise may be limited to normative changes in hypertrophy, how muscle growth is measured, and in which populations using which methods. For example, measuring muscle thickness with B-mode ultrasound specifically in the biceps is a very different set of expertise than studying muscle fiber cross-sectional area from muscle biopsies. That's also different from studying molecular signaling pathways, connective tissue remodeling, or long-term training adaptations in elite athletes. Simply being well-read in an area is not the same thing as being an expert in that area. True expertise usually comes from working directly with the data, the methods, and the limitations of a specific approach over many years. This is why the idea of a single world-leading expert is often misleading. Science doesn't really work that way. There isn't one person who understands everything about muscle hypertrophy or nutrition or training adaptations. Instead, there are many researchers, all contributing small but meaningful pieces to a much larger puzzle. Some scientists specialize in molecular signaling pathways. Others focus on muscle architecture. Some researchers focus on applied resistance training science, hypertrophy and strength outcomes, and body composition, with a focus on training variables like volume, frequency, and proximity to failure. Others work on connective tissue, satellite cells, or neuromuscular adaptations. And there are some who are even working on questions that others haven't even thought of yet. So when you hear someone described as the authority or the world-leading expert, that usually is more about the marketing and communication than it is about how science actually progresses. This is especially important when we think about social media. Many people with PhDs are excellent communicators, they're very intelligent and very valuable in translating research. But not all of them are actively conducting independent research, running labs, mentoring students, or securing grants. Now, that doesn't mean they don't know anything, but it does mean that their role is best described as scientific communication, not scientific authority. In fact, many of your favorite influencers in the health and fitness space are not PhDs or true experts. They usually have a background in exercise science, nutrition, or related fields, and often a bachelor's or a master's, and they focus on translating research into practical advice. Some of the folks you might be familiar with are people like Jeff Nippard, Jeremy Ether, Alan Aragon, and Greg Nuckols. Again, that doesn't mean that we shouldn't listen to what they have to say, but these folks, not unlike myself, are what we call science communicators. For example, every week I review the work of research conducted in muscle hypertrophy, nutrition, and exercise physiology, and I try to convey it clearly. But that doesn't make me a world-leading expert. It just means I'm helping bring their expertise to a wider audience. Original ideas that move a field forward come from the lab, from experiments, failed hypotheses, and slow incremental progress. Social media at its best helps interpret this work and disseminate it, but it does not replace it. And this distinction matters because being authoritative outside your area of expertise can lead to confident but incorrect claims, especially in fast-moving fields like muscle growth, training science, and nutrition. Someone who is an MD, for example, or earned a PhD 10 or 15 years ago in a related area still need to be especially careful about presenting themselves as an authority on modern research without ongoing or direct involvement in that type of work. So the takeaway here isn't that we should distrust our science communicators, it's that we should recalibrate our expectations. Good science communication is about explaining what the evidence actually shows, acknowledging nuance, context, and research limitations, and staying humble about the boundaries of one's expertise. Experts tend to be experts in very small areas, slowly hacking away at very specific problems. Now, that's not a weakness, that's exactly how science works. If we keep that in mind, we'll be better consumers of science content and hopefully be better communicators too. So my hope with this video is that you don't walk away feeling more skeptical about science, but to help you think more critically about who is communicating it, what their true area of expertise is, and how confidently their claims are being presented. Good science communication is careful, it's humble, and transparent about uncertainty. And that's something worth valuing, especially in a space where loud, strong opinions tend to get the most attention. So if you found this discussion useful, please like this video, subscribe to my channel, and feel free to share it with someone who spends a lot of time in the evidence-based space online. And as always, let me know your thoughts in the comments. I'd love to hear how you think about expertise and authority on social media. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next video.
Money is power, power is you. Stop messing with your mind just plays with you.